My name is Tom Crawford. I live at 141 Stuyvesant Road, Kittanning, PA, 16201. When they first decided to close Elderton, we were against Elderton being closed. But the school board refused all requests from the parents, and they closed it. My daughter went to Ford City. We was afraid for her to go there because she does not do good with change. She went to Ford City, and within the first week, she came home and she told us she loved it. She made more friends there than she ever did in the whole 7 years at Elderton, and she wanted to stay there. She was glad that Elderton was closed. And a few weeks later, she began to start struggling in school. My wife and I told her that she was going to go back to Elderton if Elderton opened because her grades were much better in Elderton. She said the reason her grades were not as good in Ford City as Elderton was because she was being academically challenged more. She wanted to stay at Ford City. We put in a request for her to stay at Ford City. Her transfer was denied because she plays sports at Ford City. Now, why that was, I don't know, because that was not the reason we requested her transfer. We requested her transfer academically and with the way she had adjusted there. But because the board put down the questionnaire, does she play sports? Yes. What do you people expect them to do? Sit back and watch? These kids want to be involved in these schools they were sent to. 28 of them, from what I know, were denied transfers because they play sports. This is not fair to the kids. The kids want to stay there. They want to play sports. I mean, what is the schooling all about? The schooling is all about the students.
It's for the kids.
Why can't we do what the students want? Have we ever asked the students that were transferred, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to stay here, or would you rather go back home? Most of the students that I talk to would much rather stay where they're at, whether it be Ford City or West Shamokin. But the board has totally denied these students for their wishes. Now, what are we portraying to these students? Because we're telling them it doesn't matter, you're going back. The board has won their battle to open Elderton back up. Now, my daughter, she did not hear this from anybody other than students at school. And my daughter says, well, what are we going to do next year when the new board gets elected in and they decide now they're going to close Elderton again, they're going to put me back to Ford City? I do not want to go back to Elderton. I want to stay in Ford City. Now, why was her transfer rejected? Just because she plays sports there? This is not right. We're not listening to the students at all. I know several other students that did not put in for a transfer but want to stay at Ford City for the simple reason they like it there, they've adjusted well there, but they can't put in for a transfer because their parents have no way to transfer them. They have no way to transport them to these schools. So these students are stuck going back to Elderton whether they want to or not. Now, there are a few students that I have talked to that do want to go back to Elderton, but I can't see where it's needed to open the school back up when the majority of these students want to stay in the schools that they've been transferred to. They've been tossed around, and they are worried that when they go back to Elderton, they're going to shut it down again, and they're going to be tossed around again. I think we need to start listening to what the students want rather than the power struggle for what we want.